Well, hello YouTube. Objective in this tutorial is to use nested if statements. Basically, we are going to check, just as in the last tutorial, if number is positive or negative or zero, but we will have if inside if check. So let's quickly grab stuff from end user. We are going to establish some integer number. You can try this with floats or double, but this is very good for illustration. And then we will inform end user what needs to be entered. So enter a number, okay, a little bit of new line, and well-known scanf method that will grab integers. So placeholder D, and we are targeting that number with shift 7 on keyboard, ampersand. Right, so getting stuff from end user. Now, good stuff, if. And now we are checking if this number is smaller or equal to 0. Now, why smaller or equal to 0? Because this will open us our possibility to have another check, because this thing here is actually two checks. So now we are going to be more precise. So if that number is equal to actually 0, because we have that equal 0 here, so this will open to us window to check more precisely what's happening. And more precisely means we are targeting just 0 here. So this is like a wide check and this is like a narrow check. So in case that number is 0, we will just print that, like a printf number is 0, or you entered 0, something like that. Very simple stuff, very semicolon. Right. Okay. What about else? Because we must have else after if, because we are checking if this number is smaller than 0. That's another opportunity. So else, and we will just print f that number is negative. Number is negative. Number is negative. Right. So we do have these smaller checks because this bigger check, and these smaller checks are possible because we are targeting those things individually, like equals to 0 or smaller to 0, and we can do that because of this symbol here, less or equal to 0. So this is like a precise sub check, and this is general big check, right? But what if number is positive? Well, this is a primary if. So outside of these brackets, we must have closing else. So this else is inside job, basically, and this else is outside job. So else, because there is nothing else to check. Number can be 0, smaller or bigger than 0, and that's it. There is no fourth option. So here we can just say positive number, and for some stupid reason, I have grammatical error here, so positive number must be uppercase P. Right, next line, and yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me beautify this code. We are going to select everything, right click, format using a style, and now the thing is a little bit bigger, but probably more easy to understand for some people. Right, let me test this, hopefully without errors, and there you go. Enter number 10, positive number. Right, keep on rolling. Let's say a number must be negative 5,000. Number is negative. And let's enter 0 here. You entered 0. So everything is fine logically with our source code. So what's going to happen when we enter negative 0? You entered 0, because who cares? 0 is 0. From whichever side you look into 0, it is still somewhere in the middle between positive and negative numbers. Right. So creating generic general variable, putting stuff there, primary big check where we can have option for smaller checks. So basically every time when you have some big if check inside, you can have more smaller if checks, but then you need to be precise, very precise. What are you targeting? And you're going to close else. This is like internal else for this if check, and this is like outside else that follows this if check. There is no else if here, like we had in the previous tutorial, because we were doing like simple if and if else check, I mean else if, but here we do have this thing inside this thing, so we must have else, just else at the end. So no else if, just if and else, no else if. Maybe that's confusing, I don't know. But when you look into source code, you can apply this into many other programming languages, like in a split of a second. Very simple stuff. Once when you grasp C, you grasp everything. Well, maybe not assembly, but there you go. Assembly is that's a different story, man. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. As always, share this channel to other people. You're gonna help them, you're gonna help me, and see you in a couple of minutes in the next tutorial. Ciao, ciao.